Welcome back to another episode of the GODSUccess Teach and Pray. Our leader of the week topic today will be for all faithful women. Our Bible verses are Ruth 1:1 through 22 and Ruth 4:1 through 22. These verses speak of Naomi losing her husband and sons, and is comforted by her sister-in-law as they cried together. This is relatable today as many families need to stand strong together as many are being diagnosed with COVID-19. This is yours truly, MC and engineer, His Excellency Dakar, Director of GODSU Chaplaincy Program, and CEO of dakarmarketingtools, an international graphic and printing company providing you with all your marketing needs to help you and your company grow. Our popular products are GODSU African American Bibles, magazines, banners, flyers, branded golf shirts, and jackets. Our world-renowned services include marketing, consulting, coaching, keynoting, promoting, public relations, and conference planning. Without any further ado, our Reverend Dr. Leo Pickett, Chaplain, please take us away.
Faithful our mothers living still, in cradle song and bedtime prayer, in nursery lore and fireside love, thy presence still pervades the air. Faithful our mothers living faith, we will be true to thee till death. Father, I just thank you for this second day of this week to share with the audience as we, GODSU, bring the truth and the light. Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. We're going to talk about the story of Ruth today. Ruth provides important balance to the dreary picture of decline drawn in Judges 17 through 21. Excuse me, for us, the story of Ruth is a welcome reminder that a godly life is possible even when one lives in a sin-saturated society. The book tells a single story with beautiful simplicity and unity. Chapter 1 talks about a choice. When a famine strikes Israel, the family of Elimelech and Naomi moved to Moab. They're in violation of Mosaic law. Their two sons marry Moabite women. Their two, the father and sons, die. When Naomi hears that the Lord is again blessing Israel, she decides to return. One daughter-in-law, Ruth, refuses to be left behind. Ruth makes a firm commitment. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. The two women have no means of support, so Ruth goes into the fields during the harvest season to glean. Mosaic law requires that the poor be permitted to follow the harvesters and gather grain that falls to the ground when the sheaves are gathered up, as recorded in Deuteronomy 24. Boaz notices a young woman, knowing of her faithfulness to Naomi and good reputation. He tells her to return to his fields and promises her protection. Privately, Boaz tells his workers to leave some stalks in the fields for her to find. Naomi urges Ruth to return to Boaz's fields. Her grim warning is a reminder of the moral condition of Israel. In someone else's field, you might be harmed. But Naomi has another reason. Boaz is a relative of her family and thus a potential kinsman redeemer. This phrase refers to a provision of the Old Testament law, especially for women whose husbands die and leave them childless. To reserve the family line and family land, a relative is permitted to marry the widow. The firstborn will be counted as son of the dead husband, and the line will thus be preserved. Now, Boaz is willing to marry Ruth, and there's a relative who realizes that taking over the land of the deceased will also mean marrying Ruth. He surrenders his name to Boaz. Boaz immediately announces his intention to take Ruth as his wife and guard the land for her offspring. The first son of Ruth and Boaz, Oved, O-B-E-D, is raised by Naomi as her own. He becomes a grandfather of David, Israel's greatest king. I am Dr. Leo Pickett, chaplain and assistant lead in music for Global Oved Day Seminary and University, and founder of LP Community Foundation, serving seniors through health, music therapy, and health and nutrition. Co-host, take it away.
When you hear the story of Ruth, one of the things that stays in my mind is she was committed. She was committed to what she believed in her heart. Commitment is so important. One thing I know, when you commit to something and you believe in it, you continue to do what it takes to win. You should never have that, oh, no, I can't do it, or that, no, I can't do it attitude, and about to give up. And one thing I know about Ruth, when I read that story, she continued to push and press and always found a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. So she always found a way to ensure what she had set out to get is going to happen. So I read that story so many times. And it's being ordained minister with Global Oved Seminary and University. My business is shop fashion focus. We focus on women's apparel and accessories. Thank you.
While Ruth is best known for marrying Boaz and giving birth to Oved and sister of David, and eventually she is in the line of Jesus. But before she claimed that spot as wife and mom, she was imprinted into her story as a woman and a sister. The story of Ruth gives us a message about the value of collaboration, the value of friendship and trust between two women. By taking risk and working together, Ruth became a model for future generations. That, to me, epitomizes legacy. What today are you doing to build your legacy for tomorrow? I am Dr. Cecilia Smith, appointed by God to be the CEO of Strong Sister Strength Ministries Incorporated. I am also chaplain and assistant dean at Global Oved Day Seminary and University. Thank you.
I love how God will take the little things, seemingly unimportant things of your life, to help you to see his big plans for your life. At the surface, you saw Ruth as important. She was from Moab. She was a poor widow. She was living in a foreign land away from her birth family. But God saw her as important. God sees you as important. He's using individuals that you would not think are that important. That's so that there is no way that anyone else can get the credit but God. And so I love this story because it reminds me that when it looks like there is no way, that's certainly a perfect setup for the master to come in and look at the big plan that he had for this great woman of God. That reminds me that as I say yes to God every day, to not put my focus on things that don't happen or disappointments or why did that have to happen that way. I realize that everything that happens in my life, God is going to make work for my good. What's so amazing, it really has been the little things that have happened in my life that God has, I feel like, winked at me and said, see there, Vicki? You didn't see that one coming, did you? I so love that about God. He's an amazing Father. I am Reverend Dr. Vicki Stokes, and I'm Assistant Dean and Chaplain here at Global Oved Seminary and University. I'm also the founder of Sister to Sister Gathering. It's a discipleship, coaching, and mentoring program for women. Thank you.
7 major things that we can learn from the book of Ruth. Lesson number 1, even in the most devastating circumstances, there is always hope. Lesson number 2, when we trust God, our path is not our final destination. Lesson number 3, many times doing the right thing takes great sacrifice. Lesson number 4, sharing our faith in God with others openly brings more intimacy in our relationship with them and helps draw them to God. Lesson number 5, we see a preview of Christ's redeeming power through his lineage. Boaz redeemed Ruth and Naomi, and years later, his descendant Jesus redeemed mankind. Lesson number 6, we must be people of character, even when we think no one is watching. And lesson number 7, many times God uses unlikely people for his purpose. I hope you have enjoyed this amended message on the 7 things we can learn from Ruth by Joy Burgess. I am Minister Alicia Moses Armstrong, chaplain of Global Oved Seminary and University, and founder of CEO of Agape Love Treasures. Thank you.
Ruth has taught us so much, as mentioned earlier by our wonderful co-hosts. And one thing that I'll say is that about commitment and about relationship. You know, our God is about commitment and also about relationship. And Ruth is actually the ideal daughter-in-law. And I think that's very much something that we can learn from her characteristics and her personality. I wanted to share again. You know, the month of April is a very holy month. It's not every year that in the month of April there's celebration of Ramadan, Passover, and Easter. And having said that, Easter, you know, symbolized by the Easter bunny. You know, we think of fertility, we think of birth and rebirth, Renaissance, etc. And so I wanted to, in that vein, I wanted to read from a text that was given to me earlier this week by a gentleman, nonetheless. But it says here that when I think of women, I think of Mother Nature. And so it goes like this. So when you see nature speak through pestilence and storms, you must look to the higher principle behind it and see its pattern, glean its truth. Mankind has reaped the wind of its departure from the truth. We have treated the planet with impunity, with neglect, with ignorance, with greed. We never once considered her to be a living, that is earth, a living thing, the source of our material existence, the mother of our physical lives. We have made her nothing more than a resource, a dump, an afterthought. We've allowed profit and selfishness, indulgence to blind us from our travesty, deafening us to her cries. We have allowed the greed of the few to define the choices of many. We have abdicated from our responsibility as planetary stewards and have plunged ahead towards the crisis of our own making. For did we think that Mother Nature would not respond, not defend herself? So that's part 2. I look forward to reading part 3 to you tomorrow. I am
Dr. Willis Eubanks. I'm the very proud Vice Chancellor of Global Oved Seminary University, and also the CEO of Global Alliance Technical Services, where we help get your house in order financially, whether it's dealing with individuals or business. And also we teach IT certification. Thank you.
Indeed, this is a wonderful topic, and Reverend Dr. Leo is a man after my own heart. We have spoken so many times about the Bible and about a class that we have coming up, Africans in the Bible, and to see him not only go that way, but then to highlight women. It just shows you truly who he is, ordained for all these decades and still putting women at a level God would put them, which is equal to all humans. And so I appreciate him bringing together Ruth. And in reviewing the story of Ruth, you see where Ruth refuses to abandon Naomi. How many of us are that loyal? How many of us, when we give our word is bond? Ruth is the epitome of loyalty. Ruth is the epitome of being faithful. She's the type of person that once she is with you, she does not leave you. Even when Naomi gave her the option and said, you may go, to both her and Oprah, the other daughter-in-law, said, you know what? You can go. I have no more husbands in my loins for you. I can't get married myself. I can't take care of you. And she said, I don't care. I am staying with you. I'm going to be loyal to you. It just touches my heart. And as things go by and they get hungry, she says, I do believe I have a relative, and his name is Boaz, but I don't know how we're going to do this. Ruth stepped up and said, I will go into the crops, and I will see if there's any way that he will be interested in knowing more about me. She was about the work as well. She was about getting out there. They were in a partnership. How many of you are in partnership with ministry? How many of you, if you give your word is bond and it's enough? How many of you, if you say you're going to do something, no one has to come after you every time and remind you, because you're just that faithful. You're just so much a woman of your word. And how many of you are as persistent and consistent as Ruth? Think about it. She did not stop. She let nothing stop her. She was just every day doing whatever she needed to do to make sure that Naomi didn't die. I say that these types of attributes, and for those people out there, and I've met some of them, both men and women, who say women have no place in the Bible, women can't speak in the Bible, etc., etc. If there was no Naomi, if there was no Ruth, if there was no, that relationship did not continue, there would be no Christ. And I'm going to throw something out there for a number of you today who may not know this. I want you to go and research. I want you to research and find out what the Hebrew name that Christ was called 2,000 years ago. And it doesn't begin with a J. A lot of you don't know the letter J was actually started to be used in the 14th, 15th century. So I'm gonna challenge you all to do that. Why? Because so many of us we're in the faith, the Christian faith, because that's what our grandmother and our mother and our grandfather. But how many of us actually really research? How many of us know the history of the Bible? How many people know that the Catholic Bible has an additional 7 books and what those books are. How many of us even learn these things or want to learn these things? Or are we just so focused on what we were told in Sunday school that we've gotten relaxed, that we don't realize that it's your soul, and if God has given you the resources, it's up to you to use your brain and get it done. So much respect, as we'd say in Jamaica, enough respect to Reverend Dr. Leo. And I also want to praise him and a couple other folks who last week sent in their outstanding and wonderful 20 minutes for 2020. They sent in everything that we asked them to send in, so that we know that each week, and it's not a daily thing, but that each week they've been out there ensuring that they have been spreading the word of GODSU. So these folks, I want to bring attention to them. They are our Ruth, loyal, consistent, and getting it done. Dr. Emmanuel Irono Chaplain, President and CEO of Mateer, Chairman of TIS Foundation. Next, Dr. Renee Allen, CEO of Star Entertainment Group, LLC. Assistant Dean, Dr. Grace Ini Eken-Young, Chaplain, founder of the Janet Group Foundation. Director, Her Excellency Cairo Dr. Eubanks, Chaplain, CEO, Cairo Speaks. Dr. Morris Red, Chaplain, CEO, Mind Over Matter Coaching. His Excellency Dakar Eubanks, Chaplain, CEO, Dakar Marketing Tools. Assistant Dean, Reverend Dr. Leo Pickett, Chaplain, CEO Gathering. Vice Chancellor, His Excellency Dr. Willis Eubanks, Chaplain, CEO, Global Alliance Technical Services. Dr. Lester Brian Hicks, Chaplain, Against All Odds, Fourth Down and Forever, How the 1970 Marshall University Plane Crash Inspired Me. Dr. Shirley M. Barlow, Chaplain, Founder, Seed Academy. Dr. Barbara Bunch Mitchell, Chaplain, CEO and Government Contracting Consultant. And myself, GODSU Chancellor, the Right Honorable Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks JD, Chaplain. So with that said, I am so grateful for our version of Ruth, our loyal, dedicated, consistent, and persistent. And everyone who is a supporter, everyone who's an alum of GODSU can be on this list, which is publicized. We send it out personally to over 7,000, as well as we all put it on all our Facebook. So it probably reaches about 1 million people, and some of our Facebook folks have that many people on their Facebook, 5,000 each, and then all the groups, etc. So we're very grateful to all of these, and we wish they will continue, and you will join them in being like Ruth. I am Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks, Chancellor and Provost with Global Bible Institute, as well as GODSU, our president of our UN NGO, New Future Foundation Inc., the Jamaica chapter, as well as a financial advisor in multiple states with Invita Financial Network, where I'm a senior vice president, where we help you with your financial literacy, your retirement planning, and show you how for a few dollars a day you can make yourself and your children millionaires. At this time, we want to thank everyone who has been a co-host and a host on this program, particularly my friend, Reverend Dr. Leo. Outstanding job. And want to let you all know that we are GODSUccess, Teach and Pray. We are your marketplace ministers. Go out and have a fantastic day. Ensure you are on the call this evening, where we will be getting ready to start back our Tuesday talks. We've been doing that for years. Please be on the call. Make sure at 7 tonight you're on the call. And have a great day and wash those hands. God bless you. Bye-bye.